Welcome tonight's student guest speaker, Kyri Chen, of the men's swimming and diving team. Thank you, Kyri.
Thank you for the introduction, Karenna, and thank you all for giving me this opportunity to address everyone at this ceremony. As someone who recently threw up at a spin class, I feel hopelessly unqualified to speak to MIT's athletic community, so it really is an honor to be up here today. I'd love to start by congratulating all the athletes. It truly is not easy to be here instead of studying for your finals. I hope there's a generous curve. Next, I'd like to thank Dr. Grant, Barb, and the DAPER support staff for helping to keep the student-athlete experience alive and well during the pandemic. Your hard work behind the scenes does not go unappreciated. And lastly, to my coaches and teammates on the swim team, you all made my final year incredible. You pushed me to be better every day, and I'm grateful for all that you've done. But being an athlete at MIT is quite the unique experience. Our mascot is the Engineers, which must be the only reason for why you can find a hobby shop across from our varsity weight room. Whenever I host recruits, I sold them on the ability to make a bookshelf in between their warm-up RDLs. The Engineers, though, it's a pretty weird mascot, but I looked it up, and they chose the Engineers as our mascot to strike fear into the hearts of our rivals, the Springfield Cardiologists and the Amherst Fighting Tax Accountants. But I'd like to take a moment to talk about my experience here as an athlete at MIT. Growing up, I devoured stories about superstar athletes with the same intensity that MIT wishes I had for math. Stories of MJ texting his trainer at 12 in the morning to work on a shooting form, of Tom Brady in the weight room the day after winning the Super Bowl, or of Michael Phelps refusing to take Sundays off so he could be 7'6" better than the competition. It captured my imagination. No matter what sport my idols played, though, their lesson to me was the same. If I wanted to succeed as an athlete, I needed to have a relentless, obsessive relationship with my sport. And I brought that attitude with me to MIT. I set my sights on winning a national title, and my obsession with that goal manifested in my attempt to control every aspect of training and life that I possibly could. But trying to control everything at MIT is like attempting to ride a wild bull that's covered in oil in the middle of a hurricane. I found myself constantly preoccupied with academics, research, clubs, Greek life, entrepreneurship, community service, and every other reason why MIT is the best university in the world. But instead of seeing those things as a positive, I felt guilty for being pulled away from the goal that I'd set for myself. Nothing I did in the pool was enough compared to what I could be doing. It wasn't until sophomore year, when COVID canceled the NCAA meet and sent us all home, that I fully realized that the goal I was reaching for was completely out of my control. It's impossible to work so hard that your goggles won't fall off on the start, to have techniques so immaculate that you'll avoid a freak injury while walking down the stairs, or to prepare so thoroughly that a global pandemic won't derail your plans. I'm not saying this to be morose or to claim that effort doesn't matter, but rather to make a point that I wish I was told when I was dropped off for orientation. Invest and find joy in the process more than the result, since you never know what might happen. When nothing is guaranteed and you narrow your focus from a career to a season to a game all the way down to a practice, you gain an increasing amount of control over not only your intrinsic satisfaction, but your athletic progress. Instead of measuring your character as an athlete by your performance at one game at the end of the season, your ethos at a single practice can be measured by smaller, more immediate items. Finding some technique to improve, saying hi to your teammates in the locker room, or finally taking that piece of advice your coach gave you. If you can fall in love with the process more than the championship, you'll become less obsessive and self-critical while growing more confident and ambitious. This year, I spent less time in the pool and weight room than any other season, but I enjoyed every second of work I was putting in, and I went best times in every event I swam. I came into the year with no concrete goals and managed to conclude my last season as part of 2 relays that won national titles. I mostly just wanted to use this time to brag in front of everyone, but if there's any point to my ramblings, it is this. Trust the process, be comfortable giving up control, and good things will follow. Thank you.